Alright, this is a quick video about SA 450, evaluation of misstatements in an audit or misstatements identified during an audit. So, first of all, addressing the elephant in the room. What is a misstatement? A misstatement is a deviation from what is required by your applicable financial reporting framework and what is reported by the entity. What can be the deviation? It could be the deviation in amounts, classification, presentation, disclosure. How can you create a misstatement? It can be either due to fraud or an error. That's very basic. But in particular, how can it occur? It can be either due to lack of information or inaccurate amounts. It can be either from omission, you can omit a disclosure. It can be through aggressive accounting estimates or biasness in the management judgment in adopting any accounting policy or using accounting policy which may not be appropriate. So these are the ways in which you create a misstatement. So we are concerned about usually material misstatements, but in this standard we are trying to collect data about all the kinds of misstatements. The auditor's objective is to evaluate the effect of misstatements which are identified during the audit and impact of the uncorrected misstatements on the financial statements. Now, what are these uncorrected misstatements? These are the misstatements that the management does not rectify in the financial statements. And they gave it away by saying, oh, ये तो immaterial है sir, इसको क्या सही करें? Things like that. So the auditor's objective is to evaluate the impact of both. What is the first step in this process? The first step is to accumulate the data. Every good procedure starts off with collecting data, collecting information. So the first step of the auditor in the standard is also to collect data regarding misstatements. So the auditor has to collect data about misstatements that are identified during the course of audit regarding class of transactions, account balances, and disclosures. But he does not collect data relating to items which are clearly trivial. And for any item which you contemplate that it might not be trivial, it is not trivial if you have to contemplate, if you have to think that hard. So trivial threshold is a limit which is defined also under 320, that is motility. You determine this threshold so that you can focus on audit on the bigger amounts, just like how you determine an overall motility and then you determine a smaller threshold called performance motility. Similarly, you determine a clearly trivial threshold below which you ignore the items. You also have to document what is the threshold of clearly trivial thresholds. Okay. So the first is to maintain a summary of identified misstatement file, in which you obviously, this is called the query sheet, since you are raising queries or corrections. This is what usually I call it, query sheet, client assistant sheet, or something like that. Technically, it should be called summary of identified misstatements, the items which you are going to take impact in the financial statement as a result of the audit. Okay. The second aspect is to consider whether whatever I have identified during the course of audit, the misstatements that I have identified, will they lead to change in the strategy or audit plan? Because in either of those, if there is a change in plan, there needs to be a change in strategy, SA 300 rules. So I need to consider the following if I have identified few of these things. The first thing is, say I have identified a set of misstatements. So the entity just got a new accountant and he left within 3 months. Say he was with the entity from October to January. In my sample, I have identified misstatements during that period particular to PF related work. And in one of the months I have identified. So this gives me an insight that, okay, there might be errors in the other 2 months as well. If I have identified for October, there might be errors in November, December, January. So I need to take into account whether from the information that I have collected regarding identified misstatements, will there be circumstances that there may exist other misstatements of similar kind, when aggregated they become material, or the overall misstatements that I have identified are reaching my motility threshold. This is because you don't want to delay the audit procedure or timing of audit just because at the end of the audit you have a lot of material misstatements lying, which you earlier thought were immaterial in individual levels, but in aggregate, they are material, right? The second thing to do is to communicate with the management. To communicate with the management on a timely basis, that please correct these misstatements, come on. And then the management would either accept it. If they accept and correct these things, then the auditor should check it again, whether the management has made the requisite changes. If the management refuses to change, then the auditor should look into why the management has not accepted the auditor's view. Why is there a difference of opinion? Now we come to the types of misstatements. Since we are discussing the difference of opinion, there can either be a factual misstatement where the management and auditor are in agreement that, okay, this went wrong, we need to correct this. That's a factual misstatement. The second kind of misstatement is a judgmental misstatement, where in the auditor's opinion, the management is wrong. And it can be either for management having a bias in accounting estimates or choosing a wrong accounting policy as per the auditor's view. So there can be this deviation of opinion between the management and the auditor, and this is called a judgmental misstatement. So we clearly communicate this, and whether the management takes up the misstatement corrected, I have to perform additional procedure, verify whether they have corrected properly, else I have to note it down. Then if the management refuses, further we have to also look into the matter that if the management has refused, whether this refusal will have a bearing on my opinion as well. That is again a point to consider. Okay, now once we have done all this drama during the course of audit, at the end of the audit nearing closure, the auditor should determine the overall, he should look at the summary of identified misstatement and uncorrected misstatement file and reassess the materiality. Why do I need to reassess the materiality? Because now I have better understanding of where the errors were. I could probably understand what is material to the users. I have a better understanding of the entity and its environment. I have to reassess the materiality level and then take a look at whether the uncorrected misstatements in aggregate are by size and nature material, and whether the impact of the uncorrected misstatements relating to prior period items are also material in nature. So I have to look at this idea that whatever the data I have collected regarding uncorrected misstatements or corrected misstatements, whatever, whether they indicate that there is a misstatement in the financial statements, whether the financial statements are materially misstated. So you need to evaluate from a materiality perspective. Okay, this is for the purpose of your opinion. Because the management has not clearly cooperated with us, and this is a matter of significant difficulty faced during the audit or significant matter that requires the attention of TCWG, the auditor needs to communicate the uncorrected misstatements to those charged with governance as well, as per the requirements of SA 260 and also read with SA 450. He will go and tell the management, those charged with governance that management has failed to correct these misstatements, which are, in my opinion, should be corrected. And this would be the impact on my opinion. Please correct these misstatements. And if the TCWG fails to do so, then I will modify my opinion or take a call on my opinion accordingly. Whether they are material pervasive, adverse opinion, material not pervasive, qualified opinion, things like that. Further, I will take a written representation from the management and TCWG. This is very standard practice. You should look up every engagement, you should look up every management representation letter that you have drafted from ICI portal or whatever. You should look at that. There will always contain a standard remark that the management and those charged with governance, they agree that the uncorrected identified misstatements and their impact on the financial statement are immaterial as a whole to the financial statement. Okay, so the uncorrected identified misstatements and their impact on the financial statement is immaterial as a whole. This is the type of written representation that I'll require. This is a standard MRL line. Lastly, the auditor has to document a few things. First one I have already discussed, that the auditor has to document what was the clearly trivial threshold. The second thing the auditor needs to document is the summary of misstatement file, the whatever you have misstatements you have identified. And at last, he needs to document the basis of conclusion that whether the uncorrected misstatements are material or immaterial, and in his opinion, what should be the impact on the opinion and reporting purposes. That is the whole standard on auditing. I don't think I am forgetting any of the logical things in here, and that is all.